This movie is the prequel to the Kingsman franchise. It tells a story about how the Kingsman agency is formed in the early years of the 20th century. The story is set during World War I, which includes some big-name historical figures. First of all, this franchise offers you some cool action scenes, silliness, and sincerity. Unfortunately, this movie is the worst of the franchise. Both the silliness and sincerity are all too brief in this movie and end up tarnished by the film's insistence on its own subversiveness. The movie is more concerned with telling a rather bland tale about war and nobility, or rather, reputation and character. Though basically an action comedy, the movie takes almost an hour to reach its first real action set piece, and little that occurs in that time can be called funny. Instead, the film's long opening act plays like a misplaced jumble of intrigues mixed with stultifying father and son drama, bad history, and monologues about the importance of noblesse oblige. It's also not helped by the overwhelming and disorienting exposition, setting up exaggerated revisionist history regarding the build-up to the World War I. The movie gets lost in its own contradictions and confirms the absurdity of treating the Great War similar to a Marvel movie. There's not enough gain to bring this Great War to the movie, as its only function is to add a little age to the action. It's a movie with unsuccessfully attempts to resurrect the mishmashed imperialist monarchist fantasies of an earlier era with a contemporary approach. All the pleasures of the movie find themselves inevitably undermined by its hollowness. There's more structural and pacing issues can be found here than its predecessors. The film often feels overly inflated, overlong, and tediously pleased with itself. The previous two movies have always had personal dilemmas, but here they drown out whatever fun there is to be had for the majority of the running time. The solid ensemble cast can't salvage the film from its utterly ludicrous premise. Rhys Ifans doesn't look really convincing to be the action hero. It doesn't help that the main villain, who's just a random Scot, makes for a totally implausible puppet master. The same goes for the villainous band of misfits operating out of Scottish mountains, each meant to have a distinct character, but mostly just come across forgettable and barely thought out like everyone else here. With all exposition out of the way, the movie finally starts to embrace the tone of its predecessors. Unfortunately, it's way too late, and the payoff is just disappointing. Overall, this movie is a muddled, unfunny, and overlong mess. We do not recommend this movie at all.